So yesterday we have finished with the display devices. So we have started with the CRT. Then we saw about the LCD, LED, and other display devices we have seen. And now we are going to the last section of Unit 2. It is going to be your cameras, digital camera, camcorder, how it is going to work, and DVD and Blu-ray technology. So we'll try to cover them at the end of this class today. The basics of camera, light and sound. I hope everybody we have been using camera separately as a standalone device, and now it is integrated with your mobile phones. So we should be knowing the basics of how camera is going to work, how it is going to capture the image. So a video camera is going to be a camera which is going to capture the moving image, and it is going to convert them into electronic signals which can be stored. The image is actually a picture, and when you are going to move the images in a particular speed, that becomes a video. And you have to save that video in a particular format on your storage device so that whenever you want to retrieve it, you can retrieve the image or video and you can look at it. Okay, so you can retrieve the image or video and look at it, and you can do modifications if required. Okay, so this is going to be the basics of a video camera. And a video camera records image on a video tape. Previously, we are using tapes for recording, video tapes for transmitting them for monitor. But nowadays, we don't use tapes. It is going to have an inbuilt memory. So whatever video is being recorded, it will be stored on the inbuilt memory. Okay, so we don't use tapes as such. It was tapes outdated 10 years back. So previously, tapes were used to record. The recorded video was used to store it on tape, but now we are not using tape. We will be having USB drives inside our camera. Memory is a slot, memory card. We can use to that. It will be the captured video will be stored on the memory storage. The video camera is the single most important piece of production equipment. If we are going to produce any shows in a television or any private, the video camera plays a very important role. So to produce an optical image, there is no need to be a skilled engineer. All you need to do is settings. The camera settings have to be done properly. You need not be skilled at all, but you can learn it. You can learn it as you become experienced. That is what they are saying here. Okay, so you need not be skilled enough to use the camera in the beginning stage, but as you start using it, you will become skilled. Just you have to press the right buttons. What is the lighting you are going to use? All these are going to be determining the quality of the image or video which you want to take. So all video cameras work on the same principle. So there is nothing different which is going to vary from one camera to another camera. So you are going to convert an optical image into electrical signal that is reconverted by television set into visible images. So you are going to convert an image into electrical signal and store it as an electrical signal. And when you retrieve it, you are going to convert the electrical signal back into your optical image. Okay, so it's just like a transducer which is going to convert your optical image into electrical signal. The light that is reflected from the object is gathered by the lens and focused on the imaging or picking up device. So you flash light on an object. The light that is reflected from the object is picked up by your lens and focused on the pickup device, so which is going to capture the light. The imaging device is the principal camera element that converts light into electrical energy. So it's just like a transducer. You know, transducers convert one form of energy to another, right? So the camera is also going to work like a transducer, which is going to convert the light energy into electrical energy. So the image which is going to pick up the reflected light is going to be called as a CCD. So CCD means it is charge coupled device. So you are going to flash light on object. The reflected light contains the information about the object. That reflected light is captured by the CCD, charge coupled device. So they are going to store the information of the particular object. So CCDs will have thousands of image sensing elements called pixels. I told you we have been using this term pixels quite often. Pixel is a picture element. So arranged in the form of a matrix, it has horizontal and vertical rows, and each pixel contains information about the light intensity. Okay. and you can either from pixel you can get what information it is going to have, or you can make a pixel display light. That is two ways are possible. So each pixel translates the light into electrical current. So here the pixel is going to do the reversing, it is going to convert light into current. But when you give current to a pixel, that pixel is going to glow. Both the ways are possible. It's a reciprocal device. Okay. These electrical signals travel to the recording section. So once you're continuously recording a thing, the pixel will be continuously sending the information to the in the form of electrical current, which is going to travel, which is going to be processed in the recording section. So this current creates a small magnetic field, which is recorded on the magnetic coating of the tape. So initially, I told you tapes were used, right? So how you would write information on the tape. So these electrical signals will be going to the recording section, and whenever current travels, it creates a magnetic field. That magnetic field is used to record the information on the magnetic coating of the tape. So to view the image, the process is reversed. So to view the image, we have to reverse the process. The magnetic field on the tape creates the electric current, which is used to generate the picture in the viewfinder or the television or monitor. You know, current and magnetic field are reversible. When current is going to flow, you are going to have a magnetic field. When there is a magnetic field, the current is going to flow. So both are reversible. So for storing, we convert current into magnetic, we produce magnetic field from current and store it. For retrieving, the magnetic field is going to generate a current, and you're going to display the same thing on a TV or a monitor or a screen, wherever are going to view the image or video. The types of video camera, so number of factors are there which will say which camera you have to purchase. First one is cost, initial cost and running cost. Initial cost is the cost which is invested by you to buy the camera. Running cost for maintenance. Physical aspect, you have to see whether it is heavy, whether it is easily portable, how am I going to mount my camera, whether I'm going to have it in my hand or I'm going to keep it on a stand. Okay, operational features, what you have to see, what are the facilities it is going to offer, what controls are there, what is the zooming range you have. So all these are the features you will be checking before you buy any video camera. So electronic and optical performance, what all things you see, what is the resolution, how bright the video or image captured is, how clear it is, or even if I zoom it, it is not blurring, or what is the color quality, what is the picture noise, what is the performance stability. So all these things you have to consider before you purchase a video camera. Color quality means whether the exact image what you capture is replicated or there is a change of color. Picture noise means when you capture the image, any noise is being added to your signal, which will make the viewability very, very poor. So a lot of factors have to be considered before you buy camera. Some of the factors are given, primarily the cost. Second one is the physical aspect, and then you go into the operational features and the performance characteristics. Okay. See, these are the different video cams available. This is a handheld device. This is used in marriage and other functions. This is used in film shooting, and this is also another compact handheld device. Next one is studio camera. The studio camera is one which is found inside a studio. It is also used outside the field where it is mounted. It is a mounted device. This this one, the third one, what you see is a mounted device, and it used mainly in films and other thing where editing and other things have to be done perfectly. These cameras are very heavy in weight, so they are mounted on tripods on a panning head, which enables them to turn the pan and tilt. So the camera can move 360 degrees. It is mounted on a tripod, and the tripod can be rotated. So the zoom and controls are easily usually fixed so that you can position it to the head. To make it easier for the operator to actually focus, you can a full size of 5 to 7 inch viewfinder is usually fitted to the studio camera. The viewfinder means you will have a screen along with the camera. So you can with the once you snoop through your camera, you can see how the field settings are. So all studio cameras receive power from the DC power supply. You have a dedicated power supply to power all your cameras. Camera is an active device. It needs power for function. Okay. This is what is the studio camera, they say. And you have a display unit to see the picture. Next one is portable camera. So although large studio cameras, the studio cameras are very good in quality, but the cost wise they are very costly. The weight they are very heavy, so you cannot portable. You cannot carry them with that much comfortness or ease. So as a high performance with low operating cost, portable cameras are available, which are adopted by many organizations. The portable cameras can come in different formats. One is it has separate compact video cassette. The output may be camera output may be directly given to a nearby tape recorder. The camera may be connected to an upstation which transmits the output via satellite to a control center. So you can transmit the signals wirelessly in wireless medium also. So if you want immediate video output, you can light it to a cassette, or if you want high quality output, you can send the information via the cable to a recorder. And if you want it to be processed later, you can now send the output to a satellite and it will transmit to a nearby control center, and process you can process the signal after downloading from the satellite. So this is a portable camera which is relatively less complex and portable also. Next one is convertible camera. So where a camera is convertible, you can use it for various configuration. You can fit in different kinds of lenses. You can fit in different viewfinder configuration, different formats of video tape recorders. You can incorporate into it to suit a particular production. So it is going to be customized. So this camera can be changed. The settings can be changed to incorporate different kinds of lens, viewfinder, video tape recorder to suit a particular production. Okay, so these things can be changed. Okay, and for a studio show, the camera is mounted on a dolly with a large viewfinder, so it's essential for the flexible dolly operation. So for if you are going to if you are shooting a show, it is mounted on a dolly with a large viewfinder. The viewfinder will show who all are currently seen by the camera, and you can use zooming to the zoom to the required place. When you want to shoulder support your camera for maximum mobility, you can fit lightweight attachments, a smaller hand-operated zoom, and a compact viewfinder because you are working very close to camera where you need them. So even if you are going to carry your camera on a shoulder support, you have for that facility, you have a lightweight attachment which will with which you can zoom the camera, as well as a viewfinder. Also a compact viewfinder is also available where you can work close to the camera and attach a small camera right and microphone. Okay, ENG and EFP camera. So ENG is electronic news gathering, or EFP is electronic field production. So they are just variations on the portable camera. So ENG is electronic news gathering. So these camcorders are used for news gathering, invariably work alone. Generally, shoulder mounted is very these news people, they go location to location for news, collecting the news, right? They will be carrying these cameras weighing 2 to 6 kilograms, and it has a small microphone attached and powered by a battery. So the image along with the the image along with the audio is going to be fed into the camera, and it will be combined as a video signal. So now EFP, electronic field production. So this is for shooting from the away, studio program insert, the documentation. So all post production work, you can use this camera. Most production shoot with a single camcorder, but sometimes a multiple camera shoot is controlled. So you take the pictures from so many cameras, you process them, and finally get a video output, which is going to be from all the cameras. So the cameras maybe mount on the mountings. You can mount them on a tripod, or you can hold them in your shoulders. So all these are some of the uh, cameras which are used for the studio purposes. Okay. Consumer grade cameras. This is for end user. It does not require high clarity, right, for commercial purpose. So certain equipments found in the low budget, they are going to be called as low budget and they are called as consumer camcorders. So they are called as mini DV or handy cams or DVC video tape recorder format. So these are the various types of camcorders available, and they can you can interface them with personal computer and you can process the data. So they don't provide very high technical standards, but they come with a minimum price. They come with a minimum price. So these cameras are very easy to handle and they don't require much technical specification. So these cameras are very easy to handle and they don't require much technical specification. So video is recorded on a memory card and you can put the memory card into a computer, laptop or PC and you can process the videos. So this is all about cameras. Now we'll go to the next topic, digital camera. How the information is getting stored in a digital cameras. Okay. So digital camera is a camera which can take predominantly it is going to take still photograph, but sometimes it is to some extent of quality. It can take video or both digitally by recording the images by a image sensor. So it can record, it can shoot video or still photograph and both, and it can store it in a memory location. This is the front side and this is the back side. In front side you have the lens and other focusing features. The back side you have the view and the other buttons for shooting your images. So what do digital cameras do? So they capture and record images of the world around us using digital technology. You know, how much ever you capture, ultimately you have to store only zeros and ones in your computer or memory because it is stored only in digital format, right? So the signals may be analog in nature, but final storage has to be digital. In other words, they store photograph not as patterns of darkness and light, but as long string of numbers. Numbers mean zeros and ones. Zero represents black and one represents white. Okay, so it is mainly the storage is digital, so which means your output image or video will be very clear. It will be in high clarity. So this digital cameras have many advantages. So it gives us the instant photograph, allow us to edit our pictures. You can see your pictures what you have taken instantly. Okay, you can you can see the images instantly, and it makes easy for sharing the photos using email and other websites. So they can do what they can do things what film cameras cannot. They can display the images on a screen immediately after they are recorded. So after clicking the picture, you can see the preview of how the picture is shot. If it is good, you can have it. If it is no wrong, means you can retake it and delete it. So storing thousands of images on a single memory device, you can delete images to free the storage space. You can even perform some basic function like cropping pictures and other elements. So basic functionalities are supported directly in the digital cameras. How an ordinary cameras work? If you have an old style camera, we'll know that it's ineffective, but without one fundamental piece of equipment, the film, you need to put a film here. Without that film, you cannot use it. And the film is a long spool of flexible plastic coated with special chemical which are sensitive to light. To stop light spoiling the film, it is wrapped into the rough light-proof plastic. You might have seen we have to buy Kotak, Canon. These films you have to buy. They will be in the form of cylinders, and you have to put them inside. And once you take the film out of the cylinder, the film is gone because it is highly sensitive to light and it gets spoiled. To stop the light from spoiling the film, you are wrapping it inside a very tough plastic cylinder, so which you put inside your camera. So when you want to take photograph, you have to press the click button, and this operates a mechanism called shutter, which makes the hole open briefly at the front of camera, allowing the light to enter through the lens. So the light reflects from the object will enter through the lens. The lens causes the reaction to take place in the chemicals on the film, thereby storing the picture in front of it. The picture is stored in the film. Okay. How do digital cameras work? Digital cameras look very much like ordinary film cameras, but they work completely in a different way. So when you press the button to take photograph with a digital camera, a aperture will open. The door will open, the aperture will be open, which enter, which allows the light stream through the lens. From this point on, hope everything is different. There is no film in digital camera. You don't have a film in digital camera. Instead, you have a piece of electronic component which captures the incoming light and turns them into electronic signals. That is called as CCD. We told you, right? Charge coupled device. So instead of film, the film is completely replaced by CCD, and CCD will have millions of transistors arranged in the form of a matrix to aid your taking the capture the images. In digital camera, exactly the opposite happens. Light from the thing you are photographing zooms into the camera lens. So this incoming picture hits the CCD. CCD will have millions of pixels. This CCD will measure the color and brightness of each pixel and stores it as a number. So it will have a memory device, right? So it will be storing these values in the memory device as an image file. So that's how you have an image file inside a folder. Aperture, this is a very important very important component of a camera because it controls the amount of light which reaches a digital camera. So an aperture acts much like your eye, the opening of your eye. It's an eye pupil. So it opens wider as light decreases to let in more available light. So if it opens wider, more light can get in. If it gets smaller when light increases to reduce the amount of light entering the eye. You know that whenever the light brightness is very less, your eyes will be opening out bright. When the light brightness is very large, the eyes will close, right? Same way. So you see here, it opens wider as the light decreases. So when the brightness is very less, it opens wider to let in more light. But when the light brightness is very high, it just reduces the amount of light entering the eye by just closing it partially. Just like how human eye is modeled, same thing. So you have some very functions. You have many functions available in digital cameras. One is aperture size can be variable to enter the amount of light it has to pass through. So you can the photographer can adjust the aperture to the point of best definition. Now, once you see through the camera, you can clearly adjust how much light is required. And finally, focusing. To get a sharp image, you must adjust the lens from appropriate distance. You are going to adjust the focal length, right? So that is called as focusing. So you adjust the lens so that you get a bright and sharp image of the person whom you are going to take. So to get further, the image is formed, and to get a close image, the lens must be moved away from the film plane to focus the image. Okay. How the flash shutter and work. Flash, it is very difficult for a camera to capture an image without the right amount of light. For capturing an image, the correct amount of intensity should be there. If you are shooting outside in direct sunlight, flash is not required, but a flash works by charging a tube filled with xenon gas in order to create a brief burst of light. Just for a flash, you create for a few milliseconds, you just flash out light, which is going to make your environment have more amount of light. And shutter, a camera shutter works by opening and closing and determines speed to allow certain amount of light flowing in. Shutter and aperture work together. How do the light sensor work? You have millions of PPT, right? So digital, when you press your camera shutter button and exposure begins, each of the pixels which will be ready to collect and store the photons. So once the exposure finishes, the camera closes each of the photo size and then tries to assess how many photons fell in. The relative quantity of photons in each cavity, the precision is determined. So depending on how much photons each of the PCD is going to have, we are going to convert that into numbers. So bit depth, you call it as bit depth. Bit depth will clearly say how much intensity levels are captured. Sh- Shutter speed. Shutter speed is one of the basic important controls of camera. So it will clearly mention how much amount of light is entering into your camera. Okay, so it is just a small plastic sheet which opens and closes to allow or prevent light from entering. So shutter speed also determine how long shutter remains open. So it is just like on and off, square on and off, opening and closing. How to use viewfinder. So a device on the camera that shows what will appear in the field of view. You can use viewfinder. small screen where you can see what is the object which you will be capturing. The most viewfinders can be adjusted to accommodate the camera, so you can adjust the lens and see how clear the image. Okay. What is SLR? Single lens reflex camera. SLR is single lens reflex camera. So it is a camera that typically uses an automatic moving mirror system, which permits the photographer to see exactly what will be captured by the film or digital image. You have an automatic moving mirror system. Okay. So the contents are there. You can refer to these sites and get the contents. Next one, understanding the digital camera. This one is given by Canon. So this should be even more clearer to you. So that's like you see that previously you had a pinhole camera. That means you have a hole and through which the light is going to pass. So whatever the range of light that is going to pass, okay, now what is the range of light that will be inverted and put here? It will be inverted. Okay, light from an object passes through a small hole to form an image on the sensor. So it will be opposite to what you see. Did you see tilted image here for the mountains? Digital cameras, they convert analog information to digital information, zeros and ones, as I told you. So you have these processes, CD, DVD, HDTV, MP3, and DVRs, all are built on the same process to convert and store your image as an electronic file. Digital and regular film cameras depend on chemical and mechanical process. Film cameras do not even need electricity, but digital cameras need they have a built-in computer or a processor to record image electronically. You need batteries for them to work, and storing is done immediately in the in your memory slots. In memory slots, you put memory devices. There, the storage of these files will happen instantly after they are captured. What is a DSLR? DSLR is digital single lens reflex camera, or DSLR. It is a digital camera which provides the capability of interchanging lenses. So you have a wide variety of lenses given to you and why various photo shooting options than normal cameras. Normal cameras are very customized for easy operation, but these DSLR cameras have a lot of other accessories coming with you for changing the lens and your photo shooting options. So it will give a very clear version of your image which you are going to capture. The size is also going to be very huge because of the clarity. So it has DSLR has following components: a photographic lens, a viewfinder, a shutter, and an image sensor. So all these are going to be the components of a DSLR camera. This is a simple example of a DSLR camera. So this is your viewfinder where you can see what you are going to click. Then you have your lens. The lens portion is here. This is your viewfinder. Okay. This is your lens. Uh, then you have a shutter. This is you. This is going to be your shutter and an image sensor. So image sensor will be inside here, which will capture the image. What happens when digital cameras take picture? Once a picture is taken, the image must be converted into a form which computer, because you're going to store it in a computer. So computer can understand only zeros and ones. So the picture is converted into long string of zeros and ones, and is stored in the memory. So all these pixels, when you combine, it makes up your image. The design of DSLR, when DSLR is not capturing image, the photographic lens located in the front of camera detects light into the camera body. So, so when it is not capturing anything, when you're seeing through a DSLR camera, the lens directs light into the camera body. Light is then reflected by the mirror, so light will go inside. It, it will go here, reflected by the mirror, and finally travels with a viewfinder. You know, you have a viewfinder. See here, light is going like this, reflected, and it will go to the viewfinder where photographers can observe the scene. The process is like this. It is light is entering, going here, reflected, and then going to the viewfinder. Here, if you see, you can see the image what you are going to observe. When the mirror is flipped down and the shutter covers the image sensor from the recording light. Okay, this is happening when the DSLR is not capturing image. When the DSLR is capturing the image, image capturing, when the shutter release button is pressed, when the shutter release button is pressed, the mirror is flipped, which means the light will not go here. Light will directly travel into the sensor area. These sensors will have a lot of CCDs, and these CCDs will capture your image. The shutter that covers the image sensor is now fully open, and the image sensor is exposed under the light, which will be capturing the image. A digital camera has different lenses that will focus the light to create the image of it. That's what we have seen. A DSLR camera has a lot of lenses to uh, customize, or you can change the configuration of your DSLR camera for the particular lens. A 35 camera would focus on the original piece of film. So digital cameras focus light on the semiconductor device. You call this charge coupled device CCD that records the light electronically. So that is after the complete image is captured, it will be stored in the memory location. This is the aperture. This is the through hole through which your light travels. It regulates the amount of light that passes. So the opening is larger means more light will enter. The opening is smaller means less light will enter. Focal length, I told you, where the point at which you get a very clear image is called as focal length. So you can have wide angle, normal angle, medium, telephoto, and all these. Usually, you have different lens, right? And each lens will have a different focal length. So you can capture the image far away image, or you can capture it even more closer with very high clarity. This is going to be the image sensor where you are going to have a CCD. The sensor is very key device because it captures the information relating to your images. So it consists of millions of CCDs which will capture the image. So the sensor converts light into electrical charges. So digital cameras use CCDs or sometimes CMOS, complementary semiconductors. Both convert light into electrons. Value of each cell is set and it is stored in the memory. You see here, the like image is focused on the CCD, and the CCD will go through the different layers, and finally it is stored in your SD card. Image sensor, two common size of image sensor used by DSLR. One is 35 size image sensor, which has a dimension called as full frame sensor. And another one is APS-C, which has a dimension of 22/15. So two dimensions are available. So see here APS-C and 35 full frame. So APS-C is very small. The size of the image sensor has no effect on the size of the captured image, but affect the size of the scene that will be captured. So the size of the sensor CCDs, whatever the image is falling on them will be captured. So they don't have anything other than that. So whatever you shoot, whatever is falling on the CCDs will be captured fully. Image formats, different formats are there for storing your image. You have a full frame, the crop factor is one. What you see is exactly captured. For APS-H, the crop factor is 1.29. So it is the ratio of dimension of the camera's imaging area to the reference format. Okay. So and it is for APS-C, it is 1.52. Just remember the values. The red box see the red box, what you see here is the complete thing what your sensors would see. But the blue box is what the lower one for the lower configuration sensors would see. Most DSLR cameras have on the market have a C-sized image, very high clarity image only. So this is the practical. You have a mode dial where you can turn from different modes of operation. You have night mode, video mode, TV mode, picture mode. All these modes can be using a mode dial. You can change it. In creative zone, you have various. These four things are called as creative zone. You have various settings. You can change the shutter speed, or you can change the aperture. You can adjust the exposure as you prefer. So this creative zone will help in changing all these properties of your camera. So these are the things as given by Canon. Now we'll see about DVD. So DVD is a digital versatile disc. So what is DVD? So DVD is DVD is a disk which is going to store information that a computer can read. So it is can be a simple, it can be a music or a movie or a TV program or a computer game, anything you can store in a DVD, but it will be readable. It should be in a readable format. So DVDs look like CDs, compact discs, but they have very much, they have huge storage capability. So conventional CDs previously we had, they can store only up to 700 MB, but DVDs can store at a stage, they can store up to 10 GB of data in a single stretch. Who invented it? The DVD was not invented by one person or company. So many companies they continuously researched and came up with a proposal to store data in the form of a in a digital versatile disk. Versatile means it can store any type of data. Digital means in digital format, zeros and ones. How does it get power? It is powered by electricity. It reads the data on the media using a light called laser. So you need a laser to read the contents of a DVD. Laser, you know, it is going to emit light. How does it work? So DVDs have the same size, shape, and thickness as your CDs, but like a CD, the DVD is also have a small pits and bumps on the disc. As we see from a distance, the surface looks very smooth, but actually it has lot of pits and bumps on the disc. So the DVD is made up of several layers of plastic. Each layer is called as injection molded plastic. So this forms a disc that has tiny bumps as arranged as a spiral, very long spiral tracks of data. So the data is stored in the form of a spiral track, and it has lot of bumps and pits. Okay, bump is just like a speed breaker, and pit is where you have to go down and get up. Bump is you have to go up and down. But pit is you have to go down and get up. Okay, bump and pits. Each layer of DVD has a spiral track of data. So it is circular in shape, right? So it can store data in the form of a spiral track. So the spiral track starts the center, and it can be smaller than 12 centimeters if required. Okay. So DVD is not dangerous by itself unless it is broken. The pieces are very sharp and could cut your fingers or feet if you step on them. It is a very sharp device when you cut it. It records information that can be used by a DVD player or computer. So DVD player is a device which reads data from DVD and plays it for you, and computer can process the data inside a DVD. So the first DVDs could store around 4.5 GB, but later scientists found a way of make more layers so that they could use more data. So these are called double layer DVDs. But now there are new types of DVDs called Blu-ray and HD DVD, which can store even more data. So DVD has a modernized current generation of video playing devices into the digital age. So more data can be stored, and it is very nowadays it is very influential in data storage. The next one is Blu-ray. What is Blu-ray technology? So Blu-ray is known as it's the name of a next generation optical disc format. It is next generation DVD. It was developed to enable recording, rewriting, and playback of HDTV. For high definition videos, we are going to go for Blu-ray. So Blu-ray can continuously record up to 2 hours of HDTV data or more than 13 hours of SDTV, standard definition TV, on a 27 GB disk. So the minimum storage is going to be 27 GB capacity, and it can record up to 2 hours of HDTV or 13 hours of SDTV. So expected they have higher capacity disk, and they are expected to hold up to 54 GB of data as the technology is going to advance. The background, so it is not the same thing. It is not found by a single person or company. You have Blu-ray Disc Founders Group, which has lot of all these you see electronics companies which are partnering to develop the Blu-ray technology. In 2004, the two largest PC manufacturers, HP and Dell, were accepted into the group to help further for the format of PC storage and data storage. So in order to play a full-length feature movies, DVD store digital encoded in the form of bits that are impressed into a recording track. I told you have a spiral track. There you have bits and bumps. So depending on you send laser light to each of the pit and bump, and you read information from that. So fundamental law of physics states the diameter of laser is directly proportional to the wavelength and inversely proportional to the numerical aperture. So this is used in the reading of the Blu-ray, DVD information. So you are going to send the laser light and into a pit or a pump, and you read the information from the reflected laser beam. It happens very quickly. You see here optical transmission and protection layer. So this is the DVD 4.7 GB it can store, and this is the Blu-ray disc, it can store 25 GB. So you have a pit length of 0.4 micrometers and the track pitch and the substrate. So recording will happen on the track pitch. So recording layer is given here. It is on a substrate material. So the protective coat is hard enough to prevent accidental abrasion and allows the fingerprint to be removed by wiping. If you even if you press the, you can remove the fingerprint by wiping the disc with a tissue paper. So it is not going to create any issues for you. Manufacturing this, all these you can read it, drive compatibility. So you have to use blue laser. That's why it is called as Blu-ray. You have to use blue laser for reading the light. Okay. So compared to CD, DVD, and Blu-ray, you see CD, the capacity is 700 MB or zero point 0.7 GB, and DVD it is 4.7 GB, and Blu-ray disc it is 25 GB. And see the red is used in CD and DVD. The wavelength is given, but you are going to use blue light for Blu-ray with a very high numerical aperture. NA is a numerical aperture. Numerical aperture means the amount of light you can capture. It is very, very high in Blu-ray technology. Parameters recording capacity you see here, it is given number of layers. Blu-ray you have single and dual layer. Single layer 27 GB you can capture, and double layer into 2. Laser light, I'm going to use blue light. Numerical aperture is very high. Protection layer, data transfer speed is 36 Mbps, but see, DVD it is very small, and I can use MPEG 2 for compressing the video. Next one is HD DVD. This is the alternative version for Blu-ray is HD DVD developed by Toshiba and NEC. So we have seen this HD DVD just now. So similar to Blu-ray, you are going to use red light for storing and retrieving your data. So HD DVD is even more compared to it lies between DVD and Blu-ray, and HD DVD lies between. So capacity is 15 GB it can store, and complexity of DVD is also okay, but in Blu-ray it is going to be a little bit more complex. As HD becomes more widespread, the consumer demand will increase. So Blu-ray was designed with this application in mind. So at test stage, you can store 54 GB of data. So that is going to be, see, slowly people will be moving to HDTV. If they move to HDTV, then the data storage capacities has to be larger. For that reason only, we are going for Blu-ray technology. So Blu-ray will replace all the VCRs, current DVDs. In future, everything will become Blu-ray. And even when any other technology comes, that will replace your Blu-ray. Okay, so to meet the data requirements only, we have uh, developed this Blu-ray technology.